Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, Rangers live chat. Tag me in a post.
Yes.
So do I send that link? Is that what I do? Or what?
You can grab that link, but let me make it easier for you to make sure you grab the correct link.
Sure. Yeah, just throw it to me on Facebook or whatever works. Send that link? Is that what I do?
Are you saying like YouTube or let me see?
YouTube is probably the easiest one for me, for the audience that I have.
Oh.
We got 5
Hey
viewers.
Ryan, this is new.
What?
Okay, we're off air, but this is new. It actually shows our live video on top of the page.
Yeah.
Hey, that's hype.
Yeah, I noticed that ever since we did Rangers Talk for last Wednesday. Last Thursday. You didn't know about that?
Learning new things, dude. Like, I'm a social media manager, and I learn new things about this stuff every day.
I work in marketing, so I work with the Google ads, and prior to that, I was doing Facebook ads. So there's always something new that they change on these platforms.
Yup. All right. So there's the Facebook.
Let me also send you the YouTube. It's not as pretty as the one for Facebook.
That's fine.
And Ryan is never this quiet, by the way.
Oh, don't worry. Like, it's good. Like, I'm sure when we get started, man, we're gonna get in it.
You haven't seen my crazy side. Just kidding.
Don't worry, man. Like, I will do anything. I listened to the first episode of Hyperforce today, so I can talk about that too.
What your first thoughts was?
What my first thoughts was, yeah. I also wrote a brief novelization of one of the scenes.
You're on fanfic?
Is it fanfic when you're just sort of transcribing it in a way and then like adding details? I guess that's fanfic. Okay, there's the YouTube link. All right. Look at that guy. That guy right there.
Yes.
All right. So is it live now?
For the people that are in YouTube, they can see everything behind the scenes compared to Facebook. That's the fun of it.
All right. What's up? What's up, YouTube? Yeah. How it be?
And we are actually having viewers that are waiting for us, so we're going to switch gears.
Should I tweet? Should I tweet out now?
Yes, you can go ahead.
All right.
I'll wait for you once you send that tweet.
All right, I did it. Let's go. Let's make it happen.
Let me switch this up.
By the way, Jalen Glover says hello. I'm glad I made it. And then Daniel Romero says hey.
Oh, man. Daniel, man, it's been a minute on the internet. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I'm not a jerk anymore. I'm so sorry.
So let me make sure. Okay. So you guys, this is Rangers Live Chat. You guys know me, Krishna, of course. And we also have Ryan, who's towards my left. I think it's my left, right, Ryan?
Maybe.
He's still waking up, you guys. He has a busy schedule. But today we have our good friend, Shamus Kelley. Shamus, how are you doing today?
What's up, everybody? Rangers Live Chat. Yes, this is Shamus. I am so excited to be here. I'm ready to talk about anything and everything. I was at Pasadena Comic-Con recently, and like I needed to give like a title, and my joke was that I would just cycle through like PR expert, VR Troopers expert, Beetleborgs expert. So today I'm going to go with Tattoo Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills expert. So we're going to go with that.
Well, Shamus, I know you've been part of the Power Ranger community for the longest time. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
A little bit about myself. Well, yeah. Like in relation to PR or just in general?
Anything about yourself that you would like to know? Because I know you've been good friends with Bruno and Mia, Daryl Williams, the other Daryl, voice actor Daryl, all of our good friends. And so, tell us a little bit about you.
Oh, man. So, I mean, I've been watching Power Rangers forever. And I mentioned that because Power Rangers has had such a deep and like long stretching impact on my life. I think every single job that I've ever gotten has been in some way because of Power Rangers, which is wild. basically, I'm a writer. I write for Den of Geek, the ever so wonderful website. You may have seen some of my reviews there. I regularly review the show. I'm right now, every week, I will review Super Ninja Steel. I usually have my reviews up like an hour after the show airs. And I also do podcasting. I'm on the ever so wonderful podcast No Pink Spandex, which is run by the ever so wonderful Lisa J.
Yes.
Lisa J is wonderful. It's great. It's great. You may be like, there haven't been new episodes in a while. Don't worry about it. We are recording. They just haven't come out yet. Don't worry about it.
Lisa J has been around since back in the day when we were using forum sites.
Yeah, so I got into Power Rangers podcasting, and that was my sort of first real foray into the fandom. And then it just sort of escalated to now where, because of those podcasts and because I was running Facebook pages for those podcasts, I was able to get jobs in social media, and then I was able to parlay that into Den of Geek. And because of Den of Geek, I was able to get, I've consulted on some of those live streams that Shout Factory does for their Sentai. They'll do live streams of Sentai, and I've done some sort of what Brian Ward asked me to do. He's the guy who's the producer of those DVDs. For their live streams, they've asked me to basically do comparisons to how the monsters in a certain episode of the Japanese episode are used in the Power Rangers episode. So, for example, I did one for Mega Ranger where they had, oh God, what was it? Like that elephant monster, if you remember. Like, do you remember the episode of Power Rangers in Space where Cassie goes on the date with the guy and they're on the 30th floor and there's like that plutonium or whatever?
I think so. I know Ryan's more familiarized because he watches the episodes every single day. Sorry, Ryan.
Well, I wasn't born in. Actually, I was born. Wait, I was like 3 years old when Space came out, so.
But like that episode is so fascinating because if you watch it, they're almost the exact same episode, sometimes down shot for shot. And it's sometimes they'll use wide shots of the Japanese actress because they're like, and they dressed Cassie up like the Japanese actress for that episode so they could use those wide shots. Like she inexplicably has these ponytail, what do you call them? Whatever these are.
Pigtails?
Yeah, pigtails. There we go. And they just have her in those, even though she never had them before, but they had to match the footage. So wild.
Well, I have a question. How long have you been in the YouTube industry?
Say what?
How long have you been in the YouTube industry?
YouTube industry? Oh man, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like in the YouTube industry. I just put things on YouTube. I remember the very first thing I uploaded to YouTube was a Naruto music video back in 2006. So that's taking it back. AMV life, am I right?
Yeah.
And every so often I'll throw some things on there. Like I'll record myself talking on mountains and trying to be inspirational, but like I'm not like a YouTuber or whatever. I guess the main thing I do is the writing. I guess that's what I get a lot of attention for, which is nice.
I know during Pasadena Comic-Con, I was there as a fan to pro for
from fandom to career.
That panel segment. This leads to our next question. What inspires you to create content, video content, or writing for Den of Geek? What inspires you to continue with that work?
I think it's because I'm just so passionate about it, and thankfully, Den of Geek is not like a free thing. You know, I don't just write it out of. I mean, you know, I love to write, and I do my own personal writing because I do television writing sometimes as well. But I do it because I'm so passionate about it, and my editor at Den of Geek is so great, and he will sometimes suggest things I can do, or sometimes I can bring things to him. And the fact that I can write a review every week of Power Rangers, I mean, isn't that like reason enough? Like the fact that like someone is paying me to give my thoughts on Power Rangers, which honestly I can do in my sleep. But for these reviews, especially if you've been following my Power Ranger reviews on Den of Geek, especially with this new season, I'm really trying to take it in depth and not just be like, here's what happened in the episode. Did I like it or not? I'm like really busting it out and looking the franchise as like a whole and saying like, what does this sort of facet represent for the franchise as a whole? So being able to talk about media like that is what really inspires me, because I always loved listening to people talk about media, whether it be on podcasts or reading interviews. I remember I would read Star Trek Starlog magazines and being able to read interviews or like read, you know, analyses and things like that. So being able to do that myself, it's like I'm giving back to people what I was able to get through reading magazines like that.
Okay. For any of the viewers on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, if you guys have any questions for Shamus, go ahead and put them in the comments below and we'll catch them. Hopefully there are comments, or if you don't know Shamus, Shamus is a good guy. You can't miss him at the cons. But I'll go ahead and pass off the next questions to Ryan.
Speaking of that, Geek, can you tell us more about it?
Oh, Den of Geek. Well, it's so funny that like people, whenever I'm like, oh yeah, I write for Den of Geek, and they're like, oh, like, do you own it? I'm like, no, it's a huge thing that like, you know, there was a UK branch and there's a US branch. So sometimes if you search my name on Den of Geek, the UK page will come up because some of my articles have been imported over there. But it's just like a geeky news website. Like we have all different kinds of things, everything from Game of Thrones to Power Rangers to anime. Like if you have a geeky interest, and it's not just like really in the weeds stuff, you know, something like I think they review like the Lethal Weapon TV series, right? So it's more about like people who love television and media in general. It's not just, you know, like, ooh, super minute things about timelines and Power Rangers, although I totally wrote an article about timelines and Power Rangers, so we do some minutia about that kind of stuff as well. So we have reviews, features, interviews, all different kinds of things. So if you like geeky stuff, definitely check us out there. You follow us on the Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff.
Yeah, no, I've been following that Geek since I was in high school.
So. Hey!
Does that make you feel old, Shamus?
It depends on how long high school was. How long ago high school was for you?
How long ago was high school?
That was 5 years ago, bro.
All right, that's not horrible. Okay, we're doing all right. I started writing for them about 4 years ago because they needed a Power Ranger guy, and a friend of mine was doing their Power Ranger articles, but he only knew like the first couple seasons. He only knew like the Zordon era, and he's like, "Oh, I can't write about the new season." And then he's like, "Oh, but like I have this friend," so like I got on the phone with the editor. And he said, okay, like, what do you know about Power Rangers? I'm like, oh, you know, like I've done over 250, I think at the time, 250 podcast episodes about it. I've been on the Power Rangers DVD set and like, here's all this other stuff I've done. And they're like, he's like, all right, you're in. Send me a sample. Let's go.
You're already in the book.
So what's amazing about that, and just anything I want to give to the people out there, is that you can turn any sort, if you do 250 blank of something, that's good. And especially if it's something that's like showable and you can be like, look at all this work I did. That looks very, very, very impressive to people. So if you have a passion for something, you can find a way to turn it into an opportunity, shall we say.
That actually answers my next question is, how did you get started with Den and Geek? Can you tell us a little bit of the stuff that you write for Den and Geek? So in case anybody wants to read, or is, because I know I see some Power Ranger content. What other stuff do you write about?
I write a lot about Voltron. That's been the main thing right now. Just because that has
you are a big Voltron fan, as you like to say, correct?
I am. I'm a huge Voltron fan, and I think that there's a lot there to offer for Power Ranger fans, considering there are a lot of Power Ranger fans watching this. If you are a Power Ranger fan, you're not watching Voltron, give it a chance. You will be delighted. I mean, come on. It has 5 giant robot cats coming together to form a giant Voltron or Megazord, if you want to call it that. So, I mean, I'm just saying. But the other sort of stuff I write, currently right now, I'm reviewing Cardcaptor Sakura, which is an anime that I love. Previously, I've reviewed things like Prison Break, the 5th season of that, which was intense. I'll do features on all different kinds. I do a lot of features on kids animation. I did a series of articles on the show We Bare Bears, which I love. I regularly review Steven Universe whenever that's on. Whenever it's not on, it's long hiatuses for anybody out there who's a fan. And sometimes I'll go to conventions and I'll interview people. I honestly love to interview the behind the scenes people. That's one of my favorite things to do, because interviewing actors is cool and great, but I'm the kind of person who wants to ask like the really deep questions that an actor won't know the answer to. They'll just be like, I don't know, man, I read the scripts, like, which is fine. Like, that's no knock to talking to actors, and I've talked to some great ones. But the behind the scenes people, I remember I did an interview with, bring it back to Rangers, for Jackie Marchand, who is a writer on many, many, many seasons from season 3 all the way through RPM. She didn't write on Wild Force, but she wrote for everything else. And she was able to answer every single question. I mean, I'm sure I could think of more now, but she answered, it's like, oh, were they ever going to use the Die Ranger suits? And we got like a real answer on that question. It wasn't like all the fan rumors that you've heard for many, many, many years. So whenever I can do that sort of stuff for Den of Geek, that's what I love to focus on. And I recently did a feature on a guy named Stevan, who is a director on Voltron, who's kickstarting his own project, his own animated series project that's sort of like a murder mystery animation in an anime style that's sort of a take on Sherlock Holmes, but it has 2 leading ladies, which is very exciting.
Amazing. So, speaking of Power Rangers, what's your favorite season?
Oh man,
That is a good question.
favorite season. Well, I recently did one of the things that I do for Dan and Geek. I recently ranked every single Power Ranger season, which is very controversial. Some people did not like my choices, but the number one choice for me, and this can change based on the day sometimes, how I feel that day. Dino Thunder was number one. Dino Thunder, far and away for me, is the best because a friend of mine named Jake, who Database Ranger, who does power reviews, great guy. He once described it as Dino Thunder is like MMPR if it was as good as you remember it being. And I think that because it actually has like these characters grow and change. Like Connor starts off the season as like a horrible sexist, and some people don't like him for that. But I'm like, no. It's because it's a growth. Because by the end he's better, and all these characters grow and change throughout the season. And I think one of my favorite parts of that season was the spoiler if anybody hasn't watched it, I guess. Ethan and Cassidy get together for like 3-4 episodes. Mm-hmm. They realize that this relationship is not right for them. But they gave it a try, they break up, and then they're still able to be around each other. And I'm like, that is the most mature depiction of a relationship in Power Rangers I've ever seen. Because, like, you know, people love, like, oh, Tommy and Kimberly, oh my gosh, they're so adorable. Like, yeah, they are. But I'm also like, that's
so OG, you know? It's like so over it.
But it's like, that's not like a real... That's a TV show romance, and not to say that isn't fun and exciting. It's all escapism, but I like just enough of the real world to like for it to resonate, and that's what I like about Dino Thunder. And like it has like a legitimate great humor. So
I am surprised that you picked Dino Thunder. That's one of the non-common ones that someone or a series that no one would pick. A lot of people would pick at least the original series, Space. Time
Force, RPM.
Wants to pick Time Force, RPM. There's a lot of people that we know that I think you know DJ Rivers, right?
Yes.
He would say Down to the Earth, RPM for sure. But I am surprised that you picked Dino Thunder. That's a good choice.
Well, the one that comes up right, like literally right on the heels is Zeo. And I feel like people never give Zeo enough credit because it basically is MMPR season 4.
Yeah,
and it's as my friend Tom Y3K, who used to be a real thing in the fandom, and now he just sort of does his own thing. But he did a thing that I'll talk about in a minute. He describes MMPR, or he describes Zeo as MMPR senior year, and I think that it really is because they're literally about to graduate. But it's something that really expands on the universe and adds a lot of world building, and it actually does things with the characters. Like as much as they used to rerun King for a Day on ABC Family all the time, that episode is like some of the pinnacle of the kind of storytelling that Power Rangers could do.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what are your thoughts of... Actually, I'm going to skip this.
No, you can ask it. Don't skip anything. I'll answer anything.
Well, I'm going to mix it a bit. What are your thoughts about the current New Saban era seasons?
So are we talking like Samurai onwards?
Yep, Samurai up to now. Super
okay.
Ninja, Super Ninja Steel.
Well, reversion to MMPR was amazing. Never forget QX behind Jason. Never forget. So a lot of this, believe me, there was many podcasts, but a lot of them aren't available now. So I guess maybe this isn't new information for people. I thought Samurai was not very good. I thought that it was clearly rushed into production, and you can see that. And I actually, if you really want to hear some great stuff, I did an interview with the story editor of Samurai named James W. Bates. And I did it for Den of Geek. It's an absolutely fascinating interview where he talks about like all the things that he wanted to do and how he's brought in late. And it was just like, and how like, it was just not a great situation. So the fact the season like even had like some shreds of goodness in it were really thanks to this guy. And they had hired like, and there's a Voltron connection. One of the writers, I believe on Samurai, maybe it was Megaforce, was one of the head writers for the OG Voltron, the 80s Voltron. And so Samurai, not feeling it. Super Samurai, little better, literally because Lauren is there. That's about it.
It made it a little bit better.
I'll take anything with that. And then, Megaforce. there are days when I'm like, Megaforce was the worst.
I
And,
think you're not the only one.
I actually
But,
fell
like-
asleep some episodes.
but then they had Poppin' and Lock and Robo Knight, which was pretty great. Like, I think Megaforce's biggest mistake, and I'm sure this is literally what no one else has ever said, is that because they have those intros where it's like Troy, Gia, Noah, but they never had Robo Knight, which like huge missed opportunity right there. I think Megaforce at least had some things that were so bad they were funny in it, like Troy's hatred of water bottles that we started on the old podcast. My friend Jason started that joke. There was like Creeper Jake, which was like a little awkward.
I think you could have made it into a drinking game if you wanted to.
Oh yeah. I mean, you really, and like Gia never getting to do anything. It was like that season, but that season's biggest crime is that it was just boring and not a lot happened. It would be like 1 minute of setup, 18-minute fight scene, 1 minute of closing it up. Although, funny story, I'm talking way back in the day, one of the very first spec scripts that I ever wrote. And for those who are not in the business, a spec script is like an example episode of a show that you write to show that you can write in the style of a show. I did it. I did one with my buddy Dante, who's otherwise known as Speed Racer Flubber on the YouTubes and the Twitters. Great guy. Did a great Megaforce video called The Cave. Look it up. It's amazing. And we wrote a Megaforce spec like right when the show started. And it was all about how like Jake learned to not be a creeper and all this. It's like, looking back on it, like some of it's like very childish, not childish. It's very amateur, I should say. Like there's a lot of references to old seasons. Like there's like a bunch of Masked Rider references that just don't need to be in there. But I was very proud of a joke where Jake is sitting there. He's like, and you think he's talking to a guidance counselor, and he's like, I just like this girl so much, and I just don't know what to do with myself. And then it pulls out, and you see he's in the command center, and Gosei's looking there, and he's just like, Gosei, man, like, what do I do about Gia? And Gosei just looks at him, he's like, I don't get out much, Jake. So Megaforce, not really feeling it. Super Megaforce was also bad, but it was bad in like really interesting ways. And like it would just do things that I'm like, what's happened? Like the Jungle Fury tribute episode is one of the better episodes of that season, but also it's so weird that like Casey is a pooper scooper and he might be dead. So he was like a ghost. There's so many confusing decisions. They just watch that and you're like, what's going on? What's happening?
You had no idea what was going on. You were confused from the first episode. That made no sense.
I will never in a million years get over in the Super Mega Battle episode because like all of those cameos were like very unspecific to the characters, and there's a lot of wildness going on. But I will never get over Leo saving that kid's that little kid's dog, and he's like, oh, it's like because the little kid's like, oh, Bigsley, because he's a New Zealand kid, and he can't hide his accent. Oh, Bigsley, where are you? And like Leo saves him, and he's like, what's your name? And he's like, Danny. And Leo just starts like, nice name. I'm like, Danny Slavin, like I know you haven't acted in a long time, but dude, I will never like that is still an in-joke meme to my friends. It's so good.
I think what was better to watch was Jason David Frank's little New Zealand trip to film that episode.
That was honestly a little more entertaining than the actual episode.
Yeah, it was worth watching because you only saw like maybe if you count all their cameos, it was only like barely like 1 or 2 minutes.
It was so, but TJ was there, and it was beautiful. He did nothing, but he was there. I mean, better than what was it, Mike and Emily, who literally show up and say nothing.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So rough. And then, so continuing on, Dino Charge I liked. I think people were overrating it because it was just like an oasis of quality after like a sea of garbage. So I think I'm mixing my metaphors there, but that's fine. But it was still good. Ivan is one of the best things to ever happen to that show. Davi Santos is, I would arguably say, too good for Power Rangers, so I'm glad he was there. Like he was just so good. Although I think one of my favorite episodes was a Chase focus episode. That one where he's like making fun of, he's teasing Shelby, and then he learns and he says something that will always stick with me. Where he says, "I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, but I did, so I'm sorry." And I'm like, so many people could learn that lesson. It's like just because you didn't mean to hurt somebody's feelings doesn't mean that invalidates how they feel. which I thought was very, very important. Dino Supercharge was an unintentional tribute to VR Troopers with all that missing dad nonsense.
Yes.
It was.
And the ending really went off the rails.
Dimension.
I mean, well, then Super Ninja Steel have, oh boy. And apparently Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge are now their own universe, according to the writers of the comic. So do with that what you will.
Guys, sorry, it came from Shamus. So if you guys are not caught up, I apologize. So.
No, I mean, that's not like a spoiler. Like they said it in an interview. Like they said it was like in an interview. I think it was with Comic Book Resources where they said, yeah, like RPM is its own universe. Dino Charge is its own universe. And I'm like, I mean, that helps with all them dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, jeez. So then I go on forever. Ninja Steel. You can read my weekly reviews of it. Not really a fan. There is a lot of potential in the season. Like Brody was a slave on the ship for 10 years that they just seem to ignore when it should be, or like, what is it? Levi. Levi's a famous country singer. Why is he not being mobbed every second he's at that school? And I mean, you know, some people will say, like, oh, it's a kid show. Don't think about it. But I'm like, no, like the show's been on for 25 years.
We're not
supposed to be better than this.
We're not supposed to question the question because we're adults.
Right.
Yeah, there's no logic. That's like one of our members said. There's no logic in Power Rangers. So.
And sometimes that's fine, and it makes for a fun show. And I know there are some people who love Ninja Steel, and this is not like a knock on, oh, how dare you not, or how dare you like Ninja Steel? Like, look, at the end of the day, you may not agree with me. You may think Dino Thunder is garbage and Ninja Steel is amazing. That's fine. We're all entitled to our own opinions. And also, Super Ninja Steel is just, you know, copy and paste Ninja Steel thoughts. Like, I mean, it's only been 2 episodes too, so who knows? That
is true. What are your thoughts of the next Super Sentai series? I know you can help me out on the name, Ryan.
Cat Ranger versus Lupin Ranger, something like that.
Yeah.
Our first Civil War of Sentai.
Civil War of Sentai, yeah, long after the proposed Hexagon idea.
Yeah,
to me, I could talk about Hexagon for a long time too, let me tell you what. But Paddle Ranger and Lupin Ranger, I like the idea of 2 Sentai teams going at each other. It kind of reminds me of the Ninja Storm, Thunder Ranger, Wind Ranger. I hope I hope that they don't become friends within 8 episodes. I want them to be mad at each other. Like, they're gonna have to work together. I like the thieves more than the cops, because the cops apparently have a combined form that looks like a lifesaver gummy, because it's like pink, red, green in like one suit. I'm like, oh, that looks terrible. But then also the thieves have capes. It's a weird thing. I have this theory, and I've talked about with some of my friends, and maybe it was my friend Tom who pointed out, is that it feels like because of the skipping seasons thing, is that Bandai and Toei will do like a very easy to market one season. So that would be Q Ranger in this example. It's like, you know, lots of Rangers, lots of toys. Mm-hmm. Then they're like, next season we do whatever the hell we want. So we're going to do this weird 3-on-3 versus like weird colors. And then you could argue the same thing was for like Zyuohger, where it's like, they're going to be like furry animals, and there's going to be Minecraft cubes, and it's going to be weird. Someone's got to have a fishing rod as a weapon. Like, I mean, again, we're Power Ranger fans. We like to see patterns and things. So maybe this is just going off like the most recent examples, but you never know. You never know. So to answer your question, I will be checking it out, and I am interested to see where it will go.
Yeah, we're actually having a new show based on Center reviews. So yeah.
Called Henshin Bros, who are brothers.
Nice.
Ryan, you're next with the next question.
Who is your inspiration? Oh, sorry, my bad. Oh. What other projects and collabs are you working on?
Ryan,
what projects and collabs am I working on right now? I mean, just writing for Den of Geek is a big one. Some projects I'm working on. I mean, a project that I did work on that I still sometimes shill is I did a web series called 21 Jump Street Rangers, which was combining 21 Jump Street and Power Rangers. I started in high school, all right? Like, we all do it. It's like if you filmed your fanfic in high school. Now just the whole world can see it. That was a fun series. It was a very tokusatsu-like series with a gender-balanced team, I might add, and a lesbian main character, a lesbian of color, which I was very, very proud of. And I beat the movie to it, okay? I did it first. I'm glad the movie did it, but I did it first.
If you have that, we'll go ahead and share it to our page.
Yes, great. I will link and it will be great. And other projects I'm working on, I'm toying with a lot of things. I'm working on scripts right now. Honestly, it's the business. I'm trying to write things. I'm working on an original pilot right now that I don't want to talk about too much because, things change, blah, blah, blah.
And someone could steal your idea.
I mean, I'm not too worried about that because it's an idea that's very much based in my own life. So even if they had it, they wouldn't be able to bring the same sort of flavor that I would. I also want to give a shout out to a friend of mine who I sort of gave us I didn't give ideas to, I talked to him about it as he was writing it. My buddy Tom, who I mentioned, Y3K, he wrote a very long Power Rangers fanfic called Power Rangers Peacekeepers. And if you're not like satisfied with Power Rangers right now and you wish there was more continuity and things like that, Power Rangers Peacekeepers is a 3-season long fanfic with about 13 episodes each that in total word count is longer than War and Peace. And it's like basically the future of like SPD and the Alliance of Evil and all this other sort of stuff. Maybe not the Alliance of Evil, but it's basically, if you like space and you like galactic politics in your Power Rangers, and like the main team is a Korovian, a Horathian, a Triforian, a Zybrian. So look, I'm just saying there's a lot of good stuff in there. Like they go to the planet of Horath, they go to the Triforian homeworld. Do you want to learn about the politics of the Triforians? This is the fanfic for you. So Power Rangers Peacekeepers, check it out. It's great. So I'm really just plugging other people's. I'm just plugging other people's stuff, awesome. Which is fine.
It's more Power Ranger love, more Power Ranger things to be shared about.
Exactly. And again, if you want to support me to do just like Den of Geek stuff, man, like that's where all the Power Ranger goodness comes from, and that's what you're gonna want to read.
The question that Ryan had a second ago was, "What's your inspiration for doing everything?"
What is my inspiration for doing everything? I want to make the world a better place. I know that sounds cheesy and very Power Rangers, but how appropriate is that? I want to be able to make things that build people up, that don't tear them down. As I may have mentioned for a second during the pre-show, I used to be a real jerk on the internet, right? I used to be very mean to people, especially in the Power Rangers community. I would be like, I like this thing, and if you don't like it, you're wrong. How dare you? And I don't want to be that. I just decided, I'm like, I don't want to be that guy anymore, man. I want to be able to spread positivity. So again, if anybody's watching this who I insulted on the internet, I'm like legitimately sorry. Like that's not me anymore. So I just, that's all I can say on that. And so I just hope that what I can do can bring inspiration to other people, like how other people's work brought inspiration to me. And I just hope that people know that you can take your passion for something and make it into something that, can actually pay bills, which is also very, very nice. I mean, it's true. I mean, that sounds like, whatever, but it's being able to do something you love and being able to do it. I don't do it full time, but being able to do it a chunk of the time is very, very, very nice. And I just want to be able to show people that you can put positivity out in the world and it will be returned to you.
That's awesome to hear. Before we have our next ending questions before we lead to Ryan's fun questions.
Sure.
Have you always stayed into the Power Ranger fandom? Have you missed this couple of series due from school, work, or anything like that? Because for some of us, we had taken a break or just recently came back and started watching it again. Can you tell us if you have taken a break or have you always been stayed into the Power Ranger fandom?
I have always been in it because, I was born in 1991, so I was 2 when MMPR came out, and I have never stopped watching it. There were times where I almost did. I think it was around Overdrive where I was like, I don't know about this, man. And then I discovered Power Rangers podcasting, which kept me watching until I was writing about it and doing my own podcast about it. So I've never stopped. There was never I took a season off or I just stopped watching it. I have always been so deep in it. And I mean, obviously I got more deep into it when I was older because we know when you're 11, I'm not going on a Power Rangers forum. Although maybe that's a lie. I think I did go on a Power Rangers forum when I was 11 and tried to be super cool, and everybody dissed me, which they totally should have. I was such a snot-nosed kid.
You're not the only one. I was on the forum sites, and my question is to you. Since you were on the forum sites, I always ask this to everybody because back in the day, there was a forum site called PowerRangersNetwork.com. Were you ever on that, or were you a RangersBoard.com guy?
I always went to Ranger Board because that was the one that it was honestly the main draw of it was that people from the show posted there. Because there was a large proliferation of people posting on there during the Doug Sloan years around Ninja Storm and Dino Thunder. So that was a really big deal at the time.
Yes, I remember someone popping up there. I know it's always hearsay because you're not sure if it is said person. I always saw Johnny Young Bosch. If that was Young Bosch.
Oh, it was. It was Johnny. Johnny was on Ranger Board.
Do you remember his name? Because I think I remember the name.
Oh, I don't remember for the life of me. It was a weird name.
I think it was Frogger or Frog, something that had to do with frog.
Yeah, probably.
Ryan, your next question.
Are we going to see it at Paramorphicon?
Hell yeah, you're gonna see me at Paramorphicon. Although I often joke, it's like it's less about the convention itself and more about hanging out with the people that I'm friends with. And Power Rangers is just like the nice side thing that we're all into, which is very, very nice. So hell yeah, you're gonna. Although, man, like, why's it gotta be in Anaheim? We're so used to Pasadena.
I know.
Like, I knew where all the places were, knew where all the eateries were. Now in Anaheim, oh my god, it's like a longer drive, and there's all the Disney stuff.
Just have a good time.
I feel you. Because like I literally live like 10 minutes away from Pasadena, so it's like
right. So it's like, oh come on, you're killing me here. And also to
go ahead.
Go. No, I'll say one thing going back to the inspiration question, something that I remembered, and the reason why I do what I do is that I want to heal the world with what has hurt me. So I want to be able to take all of the experiences that I've had a negative experience with, and be able to turn it out and turn it into something positive. So hopefully I'm able to do that, and being able to, because there are so many people who get hurt and then hurt other people, and I want to be able to be like, no, like let's change that flow of energy to get a little weirdly deep, but something like that.
It's always good to think.
Yeah.
Never the negative.
Now, time for my fun questions, which I ask every guest we have here. All right, bro. These are fun questions, or they are not Power Ranger related.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. Favorite superhero?
Favorite superhero? Mass Rider.
Really?
Yes, 100%. Dex is my idol. 100% love him to death. Dex is the hero of all time. So, Dex.
All right, bro. Marvel or DC?
Why can't it be both? Like, do I have to give an answer to that? Do I have to pick one?
Yeah.
Okay, Marvel or DC? Jeez. Okay, I'm gonna have to. Dang it! Because like Marvel has the movies that I like, but the DC has the shows that. Okay, you know what? I'm going to say gonna say DC, but only because I love Legends of Tomorrow on the CW so much. And that is the closest thing to like, people talk about like adult Power Rangers. They think it means blood and guts, but I think what they really mean is Legends of Tomorrow, because it's a wacky show that does not take itself too seriously, but also has some great characters. So that's why I'm going to say DC. I'm so sorry. Like, I want to say both.
Sorry, DC wins.
You chose the wrong side. Anyway.
That's like saying Power Rangers or VR Troopers. Like, how do you make that choice? Like, come on.
What's your favorite movie? You want to watch
my favorite
time? No.
Okay, so I can only choose one, right? Can only choose one?
Yeah, one.
Okay, one. Okay. All right, I can't even say what it used to be because that's technically more than one. That's a cop-out answer. I'm gonna say that looking at my DVD shelf, because this is so much pressure. You don't understand. I'm gonna say it's the 21 Jump Street movie, the first one. And I know that sounds like such a weird answer. Like, I went to film school and blah, blah, blah. Like, why should the answer Citizen Kane or something? Because that was able to take the 21 Jump Street franchise, turn it from a drama to a comedy while still keeping the overall lesson of or the overall themes of the franchise intact. So I respect that a lot for what I was able to do. And it was just a funny movie. And I really like 21 Jump Street. I really like the original 21 Jump Street show. I could have a podcast about that. Like, I have a lot of feelings.
All right. So I had to get out of my room. My dog was...
It's all good.
Anyway.
It's all good.
Favorite TV show besides Power Rangers?
Besides... And Legends of Tomorrow, of course. Yeah. I'm gonna say my favorite TV show right now, Voltron. like it really is. And this isn't meant to like as like a dig on Power Rangers, anybody who likes it, but I'm getting more from Voltron of what I wish was happening in Power Rangers, like lots of world building, really deep character arcs, like a lot of really great humor. So Voltron is really scratching that itch that I kind of wish Power Rangers was these days. Although Power Rangers has done good stuff, like the comic of Power Rangers is absolutely astounding.
Yeah.
Like
yes, I believe you.
both of them.
Yeah.
The movie was I kind of cried when I saw it at a press screening. So that's not to say there's nothing to offer with Power Rangers. I should say Power Rangers on TV. And I also recently watched the first episode of Power Rangers Hyperforce, which was better than I thought it would be. I was kind of like, I don't know about
we're supposed to ask you what was your thoughts about the first episode of Hyperforce.
I was genuinely, because like when I first heard about it, I'm like, oh, this 3-hour thing, like just a bunch of people playing like basically D&D Power Rangers. I don't know. And then I was able to listen to it because they put it in podcast form on iTunes. And I think that's what was able to get me to do it. Because I can't sit there and watch something for 3 hours. Like I got work to do, man. But being able to listen to it like while I'm driving or while I'm exercising, that was really good. And I was so inspired by a scene in it. Like earlier today, I wrote like a little novelization of a scene. I won't read the whole thing because it's not long, but whatever. But you can find it on my Twitter. And I had a lot of fun with that. So the fact that he was able to inspire that kind of creativity in me says a lot about how much I liked it.
That's always good. So you guys watch Hyperforce, which is on Apple iTunes. So there you go.
All right, man. Favorite actor.
Favorite actor like ever?
Yep. Like mine is
like of all time.
All the way. Yeah.
Okay, well that's a great choice, sir. Favorite actor. All right. So this comes with a little bit of a story. So bear with me for a moment. Okay. Is that I was at Comic-Con and I was doing interviews. And when you're doing interviews for press at Comic-Con, like you sort of like you get in, you get out. Like you don't really like this. It's not the time to get somebody to sign something or whatever. You have to be like very, very, very professional. But when I was doing press for the new DuckTales show, which is a great show, I got to talk to Kate Micucci, who is a wonderful voice actress. She voices Webby on that show. She voices Sadie in Steven Universe. She was on Scrubs. And so she's done a lot of things. And I interviewed her really quick. And then after the press interviews and I was supposed to leave, I went up to her and I'm like, I know I'm not supposed to do this. Can I please take a photo with you? She's like, oh yeah, sure. That's great. I'm like, like, so that I love her work. I love her music. I love her art. Like she's great. She's great.
All right. How about this? Now, I have two more questions. What is your favorite food? Like, what would you eat all the time?
Ooh. Tortilla chips and salsa, but specifically like the not sodium rich salsa, like the kind of like it's like the Tostitos brand salsa. Way too much salt in it. I want like the fresh pack that you'll get at the grocery store. That's not like stale. A lot of not stale. God. And like tortilla chips and like a hint of lime. Tortilla chip is magical. It's magical.
Where can you find those lime chips? Because there was this old man who I was at Staters and he was looking for some lime chips. Where can you find these lime chips?
You should be able to find them in any grocery store chip aisle. I mean, that'd be Tostitos hint of limes. Yeah, like Ralph's or Vons or Safeway if you're on the East Coast. Like anything. Like.
Where in the place would you love to? What's your favorite place in the world? Like, where in the world would you love to visit?
Where would I like to visit? Well, there's sort of two questions because where would I like to go? To the tallest mountain, so I can go on the top of the tallest mountain and dab, 100%. Dab on that mountain.
Shamus is known for his dab, so I guess we have to do our dab, right? I've never done it, so.
Dabbing is a beautiful thing. Like
Ryan, where's your dab? Everyone, do your dab. Post it.
Dab it. Oh, no. The thing about dabbing is that like I'm aware that dabbing isn't cool anymore. Like dabbing is a joke. But like I'm sort of like the old man where I'm like, I'm gonna do it anyway because like I just love it so much. So like anywhere I'll go, like if I'm like traveling or I'm hiking, I'll take a photo and I'll put it on Instagram and I'll like hashtag it like dabbing all over the world because why not? It's just a fun thing to do and makes people laugh and that's all that matters. And they're like, but there you go.
I make everyone do silly faces after a smiley face, so it's hard to not do a the silly face after a good smile.
I know.
Yeah.
Tortures us with that.
So, I mean, and honestly, any mountain that I can go on, I love hiking. I absolutely adore hiking. So, anytime I can do that, it's that's a good place to be.
One more question. Favorite Disney princess?
Favorite Disney princess? Man, you're asking the tough questions. I was not prepared. I thought you were going to ask, like, do you like the Psycho Rangers or not? Like, you're throwing me for a curve. I like it. I like it.
Oh, you got to tell everybody that you think can I say it out loud?
Oh, no. I mean, I'll say it. I'll let all the hate come to me, is that I think the Psycho Rangers are incredibly overrated. Like, they're not bad. They're not bad. They're just not that great. Like, because basically, like, they sum it up in their first appearance. They say, we're faster than you, smarter than you, but we're evil. And, like, that's it. There's, like, no depth there. I mean, for Power Rangers, I guess they're all right. But, like, I don't know. But favorite Disney princess. So we're talking, like, real Disney princess. Like, not, like, fake-o. Like, oh, like, Leia is now a Disney princess. Nope. Like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. All right. I'm going to say Jasmine, and I'll say Jasmine because I loved Aladdin as a kid, and I recently rewatched Aladdin, and I feel like it's a perfect movie, 100%. And Jasmine has kicked butt, and I love her, and she's great in the Aladdin animated series as well. So gotta love her.
And the Pink Ranger's Aladdin. Wow.
That's right, yo, right? Look.
Gotta show support.
What we got to do, right, is, like, you know, none of us are going to get a ticket to that premiere, but whatever. We just need to get, like, a whole group of fans. We got to do the same thing for, like, premiere of Stranger Things season 3, but for focusing in on this one, we go to the Aladdin premiere, and, you know, Naomi Scott's, like, walking around, and she's like Jasmine, and she's great. And we all just got to stand there. We just got to look at her and just be like, don't you forget. We got you here. Don't forget about us. Don't think you're better than this. Once a Ranger, you're always a Ranger. Right? Right? Yeah.
It'd been more ironic. If Brennan actually won Aladdin.
Yeah, right. See, that would have been some cross universe team Rangers. You know, speaking of that, somebody asked the writers, because they have that Shattered Grid event coming up. They said, like, oh, like, are the 2017 movie Rangers going to be in it? And he's like, I don't know about that. Like, I mean, it might have been a smokescreen, but they're sort of like, yeah, like, they kind of want them to, like, be their own thing. And I'm like, that's fine. Maybe a cameo. Who knows?
So back to the question, we're going to go to the viewers' questions. I just want to know a little bit in depth. Why do you think the Psycho Rangers are so overrated compared to my thoughts is I love the OG, the original, but sometimes the OG is so overrated that you can't compare it to the other seasons. What makes you think that going to a little more in depth about the Psycho Rangers?
I think, and I mean, one of these days I'm going to write, like, an in-depth article and destroy the internet, or at least Power Rangers fans, is that I think that people have memories of the Psycho Rangers, but they haven't watched those episodes recently, because there was that VHS that came out that had like the Psycho Ranger arc on it, and I'm sure many of us had it. Yeah, man, it was great. It was a great VHS. But, like, again, they present a cool threat to the Rangers, and it's funny that I say I don't like the Psycho Rangers, but one of my favorite PR episodes is in that arc, the one where TJ spray paints all the chess pieces blue, and they all dress up as the Blue Ranger, because it's a TJ episode, and TJ is flawless. I just think that the Psycho Rangers themselves, I wish they had more depth. They're just evil. Like, there's no doubt. There's no, oh, maybe we should turn sides or whatever. Like, and if they're gonna make them, like, really, really evil, like let's really have them mess the Rangers up, like, in a really intense kind of way. I think what they did with Psycho Pink in Lost Galaxy is, like, the closest they ever got to being, like, real cool to me. Not just because she murdered someone, but, like, she really went all out, and she, like,
gave more character to the character itself.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. We need that more in the Nickelodeon era. Sorry.
I mean, we need more credible threats. I mean, like, Brody's like showing up Ripcon in the very first episode of Ninja Steel, like, with a mop. I'm like, I don't take that guy seriously anymore. He showed him up with a mop. Like, we got to have some intensity, you know? Like, stop with the fart jokes. That's all.
We need stakes, man. We need stakes. High stakes.
Yeah, for real.
You got to take it back to Time Force, where Jen was all serious.
All right, I'm a Time Force fan, so I love Time Force.
Oh yeah, dude, Time Force is great. Time Force is up there for me. Don't worry. I'm not like, Time Force actually sucks. I mean, like, I don't like SPD as much as everybody else, but, like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right.
Before we get to a couple of the comments on social media, was there one season that you absolutely hate that you can't stand besides the Force?
Oh my
Hate
God.
is a strong word. I will say a season that I was not a fan of. I mean, Overdrive. It's so weird that I don't like Overdrive, but it also has one of my favorite PR episodes in it again. Things Not Said, where they reveal Max a robot. Great episode. I thought Mystic Force was a rough watch.
What?
Mystic Force like hurt to watch, especially that last arc. I think the finale of Mystic Force might be one of the worst finales. Like, it's real bad.
From Mystic Force, it was SPD previously, correct? The previous
Yes.
season? Yes. After SPD, nothing could compare going from SPD to Mystic Force. There was no way. That's when I dropped off the bandwagon.
Young Fury was alright.
Like, Mystic Force has some okay elements. I thought it started off okay, but when the 10 terror show up, oh boy, that's rough. That's rough.
Yeah,
like, don't know. Yeah, so that's one that I just really. I mean, obviously, besides like some of the recent stuff that I already talked about, yeah, Mystic Force was tough times. Tough times.
Tough times for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jungle Fury was alright.
What was that, Ryan?
Jungle Fury was alright.
Jungle Fury was all right. Like, especially after didn't really like SPD, didn't really like Mystic Force, really didn't like Overdrive. Jungle Fury was like, it's all right. RJ's amazing. He carries that season on his back.
RPM.
So going ahead with the viewer comments on YouTube, a couple of shout outs. We have Jaden Glover, Daniel Romero, Estelle. Let's see.
We have Estelle watching this? My God, no.
I'm assuming you know who that is because he says, I love this man's voice. I want to marry this man's voice. So assuming you know who this is.
I don't, but thank you so much. I don't know you, so marriage is not on the table. I'd like to know somebody a little bit first, so buy me some tortilla chips and we'll see.
Tortilla lime chips.
Hey.
There was a question on here. I just lost it. Here's a question. Here's a comment from Jaden Glover. My #1 movie in the world at the moment is Justice League. I don't care what people said or thought about the movie. But what are your thoughts about the Justice League for that comment? Your thoughts since you are a DC fan.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now, I did not watch Justice League, and I'll tell you why.
Oh.
This goes into like a deeper thing about like nerddom and whatever, so you're getting a deeper answer than you expected. Like if you just wanted to hear like Flash is great, like that's not the answer you're getting. Is that I knew that I was probably not going to like the movie. So instead of watching it and then complaining about it on the internet, I decided I'm just not going to engage with it because I feel like, look, unless I'm being paid to watch something and review it, I'm not going to try to engage with a piece of media that I know is just not, I'm either not going to like or I'm not going to really have nice things to say about it. Like sometimes sometimes I'll watch a bad movie and I'll be like, oh, this is terrible, gosh. But if you've noticed more on my social media, because I used to like really like rag on things I didn't like, and now I try to focus on the things I do like, because life is so short. Why would I watch something that was terrible? I got better things to do. So that's not a knock on Justice League, because I haven't seen it, so I can't make a fully informed decision. Maybe it is better than what I've been hearing. It just didn't seem like a movie for me, so I'm just like, I'm fine. So if you liked it, good on you.
You're waiting for Infinity War, aren't you?
Are you?
Yeah.
Say what? Say that again?
You're waiting for Infinity War, aren't you?
I mean, look, man, Infinity War looks pretty dope. Like, don't lie to yourself. Like, they built up to it. Captain America's hot. Like, what do you want?
The Harry Potter series is built up and you're ready for it. You're ready for it to end.
I'm hyped. I'm hyped. Hyped.
Don't forget Black Panther.
Oh, dude, Black Panther. I'm putting it out there right now. I've been telling everybody. I think Black Panther is going to make $1 billion. Straight up. That's my hope. It's my dream.
Okay, so to the comments on here on Facebook, we got some people saying, "Yo, Christian wants to know what are your thoughts about the Jumanji movie? What do you think of if you have seen the recent Jumanji movie, or which one would you prefer, the original or the one that just came out?"
Yo, okay, so the new Jumanji movie, I loved that movie. It was so much fun. Is it the greatest movie I've ever seen? No, but not everything needs to be the greatest movie I've ever seen. It was a really fun time at the movies. If you haven't seen it, go see it. The cast chemistry is great. Jack Black playing a teenage girl is the most unexpected yet wonderful thing you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel.
The Rock is literally good in everything, even if the movie's garbage. He's such a watchable actor. Kevin Hart, always bringing the jokes. Karen Gillian, amazing. They used one of my favorite songs in the movie with her scenes. So if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Love that song. And comparing it to the original, I don't think you can really compare them. They're such different flavors of movies. And I mean, I love Robin Williams. Like, can't go wrong. Again, I love Aladdin. Like, but I feel like this new one was a more overall funny movie, whereas the other one was more of like an action adventure movie.
Yes.
And I think especially in the times we live in, I needed some laughs, and that movie did it for me.
Yes. It toned it down a little bit, but it was a movie.
Yeah.
What were your top movies in 2017?
My top movies in 2017. Number one, Power Rangers. Not a joke. I think it's criminal that R.J. Kyler did not get nominated for a supporting actor Academy Award. I mean, in no universe was anything from Power Rangers ever going to get nominated. I know how this process works. Like, the most deserving movies don't win. It's the people who spend money on their marketing campaigns.
I think we should have our own Power Ranger movie awards just to give them some highlights.
R.J. Kyler, man, like what a phenomenal performance. My God. That was a great one. Wonder Woman, obviously amazing. So good. Like, off the charts amazing. Yes.
Especially when you have Chris Pine in there. Nothing beats Chris Pine in those movies.
I mean, yeah, I think it's great that Chris Pine recently has decided to not be like the leading man. He's kind of the more like secondary. He's like the guy love interest, which I'm totally into. Like, that's such like playing against like the Hollywood thing. But I'm like, dude, man, carve out that niche, man. Do it. So those are the two big ones that are the ones that come to mind for me personally. I saw some other ones, but like, whatever. So those are the big ones. I mean, did Guardians 2 come out in 2017?
Yes. Yeah.
Guardians 2 was pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm so boring. Like, if it's not like a giant superhero movie or a franchise that I love, I'm not likely to see it in the theater. That's probably why the movie industry is dying. But what are you gonna do? Like, that's all I got. That's all I got. Oh, and no, yeah, that's it. Those are the big ones. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, and when we turn this off, I'll be like, no, wait. But those are.
You can also respond to comments later after this live chat.
You got it.
Huretz, Japan boy. I know I'm saying his name wrong, but he says hello, all the way from Singapore.
Woo!
Andre says hello. Daniel Romero says Megaforce was watchable. No, period. Japan
That's
boy,
a statement.
That's a statement. I don't know about that.
Japan boy says, "What are your guys' opinion on how Robo Knight fits in as a Sixth Ranger position?"
Oh, the
Sixth Ranger, dude.
The infamous is blank a Sixth Ranger. One of my favorite long-reaching discussions. Okay. I'm going to see some people have like, does he have Ranger in the name? If he doesn't have Ranger in the name, it doesn't count. But like, he's functionally a Sixth Ranger, right? Like, same thing with like Magna Defender. I'm going to say that anybody who has funky, fresh rhymes and dance moves like Robo Knight is a Sixth Ranger. That's it. Like, if you want like an actual qualification system, there is none. That's mine. That's what I'm going with. Magna Defender's not a Ranger because he does not have funky, fresh rhymes. There, I said it.
Kent Brown says, shout out, Factory's going to do a live stream for Jingle Man and Go Bee, and are you going to be hosting it?
I have not heard anything about this live stream, so if you know something that I don't, let me know. I would love to come back and do more videos like I did. If they would do another on-camera thing like we do with Kaku Ranger, I would love that. There's no guarantees, because there was a guy who was doing it before me, August Ragone, who's an amazing tokusatsu expert. He knows. He's got the real knowledge up there. And he wrote a great book about Eiji Tsuburaya, who did Godzilla and Ultraman. So like, things can change. They might want to go in a different direction, and that's fine. If they want to have me back to do videos or hosting, I would be more than happy.
Pamboy has another question. Which Power Ranger season deserves to have its own movie?
Time Force.
Which, I mean,
Sorry.
you're not wrong on that one, but I'm
Actually,
gonna
they were gonna make
say
one, right?
Power Ranger season that deserves its own movie. So would it be like, like a sequel movie, or would it be like a big budget Hollywood version of that season? There's a crucial difference there. Because if it was like a sequel, I mean, an RPM sequel would be great because then you could finally tie off that Vengeance thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
If we were adapting like a season as a movie, and we're just like going, see, it's the weird thing because people talk about like, oh, In Space, da da da, but like In Space doesn't work if you haven't seen the 5 seasons, 5, 6, whatever, 5 seasons before it. So, I mean, RPM would make a great movie, but SPD would make a great movie. I'm just gonna say RPM because RPM's great. Like, RPM's very cinematic. It would lend itself to a movie very, very well.
Yeah.
Mad Max Power Rangers.
Right? Just call it. Yeah, we don't need Mad Max Fury Road sequel. They go to Corinth. There we go. We did it. Hollywood, send the check. Let's go.
Which I just lost the question. What is your favorite Pink Ranger?
My favorite Pink Ranger.
Who is your favorite Pink Ranger?
Who is my favorite Pink Ranger? Okay, so I got to go through all the Pink Rangers in my head for just a second. All right, I'm like eliminating ones. Like I automatically won't say Kimberly because that's the easy answer. The joke answer is, the joke answer is the Bioman pilot Pink Ranger, but I'm not gonna be that much of a dick. So let's see. Pink Ranger. Oh, this is tough, man, because there's a lot of good choices. Am I right? Like. There's a lot of good ones. Man, I don't want to be boring, but like Jen is really a great Pink Ranger.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean to say that like, oh, how dare I pick that? No, it's like she's such a good Ranger. She's so good.
And she's the
great
first
character arc.
Pink leader.
Right though. So Pink Ranger, hell yeah. Although I wish. Okay, no, it's got to be Pink Ranger. So I'm not gonna go into the weeds. Okay.
So we're almost wrapping this up. Thank you, Andre, for that Pink Ranger question. What is your Megazord of choice to pilot?
Megazord of choice to pilot. Ooh, that's tough. Megazord of choice. Oh, so it's got to be a full Megazord, like not a Zord, like a Megazord, right?
Megazord.
Megazord. That's tough, yo. That's tough. I'm going to say the Ninja Storm Megazord, but in lightning mode. Because I always loved that a lot, and he can run around and do crazy stuff. So very, very versatile. All those monsters are lumbering around because they're giant rubber suits, but that guy can just zip around. Good stuff.
Someone's commenting on here saying Rangers Live Chat should have their own Power Ranger awards. Steven Mendez, are you looking forward to Prison Break Season 6?
Oh, am I looking forward to Prison Break Season 6? Yeah, it'll probably be a beautiful dumpster fire of a show, but that's what I want out of Prison Break. Like, 5th season was like so up and down, and there were so many dumb things in it, but it was entertaining from start to end. So heck yeah, I'm so into that. I'm so ready. Like, bring it on. Let's go.
Here's the last question. This is from an earlier question. Kent Brown is saying, if you were able to host a live stream, what season would you do?
Of any of Power Rangers or Sentai, or
either one? Which one would you host?
That's okay. I know exactly what I would want to do. I would want to host a live stream of Zeo episodes, and I would want the crew from No Pink Spandex, that would include Lisa J, Jer, Tristan, and we would watch them, and then we would give color commentary after every episode, and that would be the greatest live stream you've ever seen in your life. So I'm just going to put that into the ether. Shout Factory, if you're watching, let's make it happen. Come on, let's do it.
Come on, you guys. Let's send a tweet to Shout Factory letting everyone know that we need to do some live commentary with Shamus and his buddies.
And the MPS crew? I mean, it's really Lisa and the MPS crew. She's the real leader. I'm just a guy on there.
So again, Shamus, we thank you for joining us on Rangers Live Chat. Did you have any last comments, or anybody that is following you on social media who's reading your work from Then a Geek? who are just one of your friends that we know in the Ranger community. You have any last words?
I just have to say again, I have gotten so much support from the ever so wonderful Ranger community. All my friends on the various, I've made so many friends through this community. So I just got to give a shout out to the Brew Mia Force, Bruno, Mia, and everybody on there, all the Daryls, DJ, Kim, gosh. Oh no, his name is escaping me. I feel terrible. Oh God, Ostilak on Ed. No, God, I forgot his name. No, God, I feel terrible. No, I'm looking this up right now.
Award, Shamus. This is like
Edgar, Jesus Christ. It's Edgar. I'm so sorry. I just see your Instagram handle all the time, so I just think your name's Ostilak. But yeah, Edgar's great, and Rich and Steven. Yeah, everybody. They're all great. And then the people of the Toku Ladies podcast.
Yeah.
So Second Batgirl, Mari, Liz, everybody on there. Y'all are great. Y'all are amazing. Got to give a shout out to everybody at No Pink Spandex. Got to give a shout out to my buddy Tom, Power Rangers Peacekeepers. Go read it. It will change your life. It may seem very long. Just read the first chapter. You will be hooked. Got to give a shout out to Andre of Black Nerd Comedy. Great guy. I'm trying to teach him about all the Power Rangers. We were showing him some seasons he hadn't seen the other day. So it was good times. And again, just shout out to everybody who's following me on the social media. And if you have more questions, I will do my best to answer them on the social media. So at Rider Jetfire, Rider like Kamen Rider, Jetfire like the Transformer. It's very easy. So yeah, hit me up. It'll be great.
So again, you guys, of course, you guys have me, Krishna, the one who is trying to stay awake without any caffeine, who needs to be in bed by 9 o'clock, who has to be wake up at 4. And then we also have Ryan here, who is currently finishing up with school, and he is definitely our dagger bore. Right, Ryan?
Yeah.
So again, you guys, we'll end the show. We'll do our goodbye wave, and just to have some fun, Shamus, while we're doing our goodbye wave, you get to name all the Megazords while we say bye to everybody. Go for
okay,
Shamus.
So there's the Dino Megazord, there's the Titanus, there's the Thunder Megazord, there's the Ninja Megazord.
Waving too.
Okay, we're waving. So Ninja Steel or Ninja Megazord, and there's the Zeozord, the Super Zeozord, the Red Battle Zord. I'm probably missing some. That's fine. Orc, the Conqueror, if you're into that. The Turbo Megazord, the Phantom Rangers Carrier Zord thing, the Rescue Zords, the In-Space Astro Megaship, the Delta Megaship, the Mega Voyager, whatever Zane's thing was called.